Hey guys, how's it going? It's Kyle here with another Guardian Tales video. And then in today's video, I want to talk about the free coupon codes that you can take advantage of here in Guardian Tales. And then also I want to talk about my opinion on the banner that's coming up and just kind of give you guys my thoughts on which heroes to pull for, if you should pull it at all for these heroes, and just a quick overview of what I think of each character on this new banner. So for the first thing, let's talk about the freebies that you can get here. So it's 2 coupon codes. This is what you get. You get 100 coffee and you get 5 summon controllers. I think this is really generous. This 50 coffee that you see here is just me not claiming the stuff that we just got today. So it's the 2 stream coupons you can see on the left side here, that these are the ones that they're giving out for free through the coupon code. How to do that, because it's a little confusing, because I was looking all over for it. I had to watch my previous video on where I even got to this, but if you look here, there's no coupon code in the account settings. You just can't get to it. So you got to go to the website, and I will link it. Show me entering it is you need to copy your account number. They want that. For example, on account settings, see how I have my nickname here, and then even though it gives me this hashtag number here, you want the user number. That's what they're going to need and associated with your account. And it's immediate. I put this in on the website, and both codes in, they worked, and then they immediately showed up in my account here. Really cool of them to do that, so be sure to claim that. I don't know when these are going to expire, so absolutely do this ASAP and take advantage of the 100 coffee and 5 summon controllers. Now with that out of the way, let's talk about the new banner that's coming through. So currently we're ending a basic banner. We have, Future Knight, Nari, Sohi, and Idol Captain Eva. But the new banner is going to be water style, where we have the new Yuze coming through. That's a water-based character. Then we have Bianca, Veronica, and Garam. And so looking at these characters, my first opinion on Yuze is I think there's 2 schools of thought, I feel like, when it comes to pulling a character. Does the character look fun, or does the character look good from a meta/useful standpoint? And from what I'm looking at, I think she's a solid character. I think she looks like a lot of fun to play, where she's going full Beyblade, spinning around. She gives people extra attack in that circle. She has the weapon skill regen speed reduction on her party buff. A really cool character. I like that the design of the character is unique and different. I just feel as a character, I think pulling for her is totally fine, and I don't think people are going to regret pulling for her. I just think that this is a character that's going to be not as useful in multiple game modes. I think probably for progression she'll be good, for arena she'll be good, but not game changing, not absolutely meta breaking, but a good character. And then I don't think she's going to be good in Coliseum. Don't think she's going to be that good in raiding. Maybe I'm wrong on that, because she does have the increases the attack of everyone in the circle by 30%, and she does have the 30% weapon skill regen speed, and one of the best characters for raiding is Future Knight. But that is a character that's ranged, that is boosting up a whole bunch of ranged characters. It just synergizes well together, so it's one of those things. And she doesn't have any resistance reduction, and I look to that highly as a indicator of how good the character is going to be. For most people, if you have a ton of characters, if you're an in-game player, I can totally see her being a good addition to your roster. Even if I pull her, I feel like she's a character that I would have put in the training room, use for a bit, and then go back to someone that's more useful. That's just how I see it. I don't see her as a character that I must farm and fully finish myself, and so then I have that extra slot so I can start training room other people that I also find good as well. So that's just my 2 cents here on Yuze. Whereas I'm definitely going to pull forward, definitely want, but I'm in a different position than most people. I'm not in the position of, the typical player that doesn't have that much resources, that wants to try to min-max and get the best possible character. I think she might be a pass for people in that situation. I just don't think she covers as much content as she would need to justify pulling for most people. Thinking of the other characters here in this banner, we have Garam. Garam is just overall such a good character from start to finish here in Guardian Tales. He does amazing damage. He's useful in a lot of different content. He's also, what's really nice about him too, is that the Water faction in general has a lot of good 2-star heroes. So if you're really starting out, this is one of your first banners, you can pick up Garam. A lot of the 2-star characters that you're leveling with Garam are actually going to be useful for quite a while. So a very good starter banner, / just a character in general that's just really good. I use him constantly. He's one of my hardest hitting characters in raiding, so he's very late game viable. I consider raiding something that you should only prioritize when you're an in-game player. He's been one of the best characters I've ever used in Coliseum. Best character, in Camazone and Orbital Lift. He's been one of my main damage dealers, but I did get him at a time when like MK99 didn't exist, Lilith, and Mayriel didn't exist. So like a lot of these characters that are coming through that kind of don't make him stand out nearly as much, but at the same time he's such a good character, and I feel like that still stands at this moment. When it comes to the new meta, it looks like the new meta is going to kind of rotate to an earth meta. If you're wanting to build him for this meta, I think water players are going to have a bad time in most content just because of how dominant earth is at the moment. But overall, for a lot of different content, especially non-competitive content, I think water characters are absolutely incredible. Bianca is just such a solid character. She's really been coming into her own when it comes to the meta. I think she is a good, let's actually pull her up here. Yeah, as you can see, I don't have mine leveled up, but I think she's been really coming into her own with the buffs to crit rate passives, and then also just how well she scales off stats has been really benefiting her. And I think for good reason, she's been getting a lot more play here in Arena, in Coliseum, every game mode essentially. She's been useful in raiding, stuff like that. But when it comes to in-game Bianca, usually there's better teams when it comes to actually doing damage and raiding than having Bianca on the team. She's more so for Coliseum and for Arena, and then progression, I think she was really good for. I got her relatively early, and I actually maxed her out back in the day, and then ended up using my first or second reset stone on her to end up like leveling up Agma and Future Princess. She was a character that I've always thought was good, but just didn't fit my team at the time. Fortunately, I had her maxed, but now I don't. But at the same time, like, it's one of those characters I kind of want to actually max myself, but at the same time, she's not like absolutely necessary. Like, there's other characters that I think are a bigger priority, and I think she's a character to pull for when you're kind of mid-game and you've gone more a water route and you want to have that extra, and you're lacking a good range character that brings that crit rate passive to your team, and you're looking for just another solid character for Arena, for Coliseum, stuff like that. Like, so depending on where you're at in the game, I think Bianca could be a good pull, but she's definitely not the first choice for me as a water hero on this banner. Even though if you did pull for her and got her and you don't really have that many unique heroes, she's one of the better unique heroes in the game. So don't get me wrong there. It's just, it's hard to build around her as the main hero. She's more of a character that really excels as a side character, or when it's just her and she has no side characters around her, like in Arena, for example. So good character, just not my top priority. And then lastly, I would say this is the most in-game version of all the characters on, and it's Veronica. Oh, I do want to give a shout out to Two Moons. He's another YouTuber that does a lot of PvP content, and he was running Veronica in PvP, and I was just shocked at how much damage and how like actually good Veronica is in PvP. One thing that she absolutely needs to have on the team is weapon skill regen speed to really make her shine. So you wanted to team her up with Future Knight, but at the same time, we just have Yuze coming out. So if you already have Veronica and you want to try that out with Yuze, maybe there's some kind of synergy there with the weapon skill regen speed of Yuze plus Veronica. Her even being remotely PvP viable shoots her value up, in my opinion, a ton, because mainly she was a character, right now what she is one of the best raid characters in Guardian Tales because of just how her passive works here. The second part of her normal attack, Blessing of the Chosen One, increases nearby allies' critical hit multiplier by 100% for 4 seconds. And then we have her chain skill, inflicts 100% DPS on target with the Holy Light, increases entire allies' critical hit chance and attack by 30% for 5 seconds. So as you can see there, absolutely incredible for helping your team do a ton of damage. That's been her main goal, is being one of the best raid characters in the game. But for her to be also PvP viable, I think really makes her something worth considering investing into, especially if you're really leaning towards a light team with like MK99 or a water team with Garam. A lot of raid teams have this core of Gabriel, Veronica, Tinia, and then they'll put in Garam or MK99 as the main damage dealer. You can probably put in other people too. Whatever type you want to go with, they're very versatile, and you can have an amazing raid team with those characters, and you just splash in whatever main damage dealer in the front, and that's going to set the tone for whatever element you're wanting to shoot for. And then you have the other characters, because they're good in the sense that they have very versatile chain skill. Doesn't matter what status you put them into, you can just proc them, and then which makes them very good for not only are they good PvP characters, but then they're also really in-game viable for raiding and some of the best characters in the entire game. So I think Veronica is the one that, me personally, since I'm such an in-game player, or at least I would like to think I'm an in-game player, Veronica is the one that excites me the most because I'm heavily using her in content that I'm trying to push. But for most people, it's a hard recommend at the moment, but I'd be interested to see just how good she is from a progression standpoint, because she's actually like deceptively tanky. She has good chain skills. She helps boost your team up in attack. So I can see her being a pretty good early game character too if you happen to pull her weapon. It was really hard for me to recommend Veronica when she wasn't used at all in PvP, but the fact that she's actually pretty good in PvP, it makes me feel so much better in recommending this character. In my opinion, the characters on this list in order of how I like them is Garam, Veronica, Yuze, Bianca. That's how I would tier this banner here. It's always going to be situational on which characters you should pull for, if you should pull even at all. That's always the question you should really ask yourself on these banners is, do I need to pull at all versus which character should I pull for, assuming that you're always going to need to pull. So that's just my 2 cents on this topic here. Let me know in the comments below if you agree, disagree. If you have any questions, let me know in there as well. Also, be sure to join the Discord if you're wanting account advice on which direction you want your account to go for in the future. I'm going to end the video here, guys, and you have a good one. Peace.